Hello, beautiful tribe. I am Chandra Heyer, founder of Tribu Spirit and founder and medicine woman of Tribu Church. Today's video is 6 things you should know before drinking ayahuasca. Number 1, let's cover ayahuasca vines. Some might know, I think a lot of people do not actually know this. Which is why I feel these topics are actually really important to cover, because I had to learn the hard way. And so I'm making this video in hopes that you can ask the facilitator that you are about to sit with, or if you are going to do a master plan Dieta, then you can also ask these questions. They are incredibly important, and I will share with you why you need to know them. So ayahuasca vines come in different colors. The vines are red, yellow, black, and thunder. Those are the basic colors of the vines. And each of those vines do very specific things. The color will tell you what the medicine is going to bring. So red is for healing. Yellow is often called cielo, and that is for cielo, for the heavens. There is also white. White is like for white, pure magic, white light. Black is also known as negra. Negra will take you to the pits of hell. And thunder, known as treno, will you'll be shaking like a leaf in your ceremony, like just feeling so incredibly like full of power and strength, but just that things are being shook out of you. So the latter two, negra and treno, are ones that I would recommend that you be really prepared and also have agency and know if you are drinking negra or treno, because it is incredibly challenging. And I also feel that facilitators, if someone is serving negra or treno, that they should let their participants know. And when you go to the jungle, it's like the wild, wild west out there. They make what they make, and they serve you what they make with they don't tell you unless you know. And I found this out the hard way. I'll get into that a little bit later. So it's really important, most people make ayahuasca with cielo, and this is like I would say the most commonly used color of ayahuasca vine, and then the next would be red. Yeah, the yellow's yellow. It's heavenly. She helps you to face your inner shadows and do that deep inner work. But then there's also beauty and magic, and yeah, sometimes the heavens can open, and you can have really deep, profound connection to the earth, to spirits, to yourself, to your guides, and a lot of really deep healing. It's really important to know what is in the medicine that you're drinking. So again, this is for everyone, whether you are about to enter into a master plan Dieta, or you are going to sit with ayahuasca with a facilitator for your first time, or even if these are things that you don't know, it's good to ask the person that you're sitting with who's serving you ayahuasca. It's really good to know these things. So it's important to know what is in your medicine. Traditionally, most people will serve ayahuasca and just chacruna, or ayahuasca and either wambisa. So chacruna is what brings the DMT in the ayahuasca brew. Wambisa, and the leaves can vary any size from like this to this or even smaller. I'm growing chacruna. Chacruna brings in the visions. So that's the traditional brew. Wambisa is also a leaf that contains DMT, and charipanga is another leaf that contains DMT that is also typically used. In different areas, in different regions, I think in Colombia, Wambisa is maybe more found. So there are people out there who are serving ayahuasca with various different plants for different things. I'll just touch on a few. Like sometimes people put mapacho in their brews, which is, always used for, like, the spirit of mapacho is for grounding, protection. I think that is fine. However, some of the things that I wanted to bring attention to that you might not be aware of that can be dangerous are things like toei. Toei is also known as the trumpet flower. You can see they grow in the regions of the Amazon, sometimes even in regions, I think I've seen them here in Miami. It's a really beautiful tree, and its flowers look like a trumpet. Not like a trumpet, but more like the flowers hang down like this, and at the ends of them, they're sort of like, long here, and then at the end is a beautiful flower that opens, and they come in different colors of white, yellow, like this beautiful golden yellow color, and then those are actually the only colors that I've seen. Toei has a lot of dark magic around toei. Some people use toei, so maybe perhaps what some of you might have heard toei being used for is that it's dried and then it's ground into a powder, and then people in South America, I think this was happening a while ago, would blow. So they would have like the powder in your hands, and then they would go blow it in your face, and the minute you inhale it, you're gone. You're knocked out of consciousness, you're blacked out. And then they take these people and they harvest their organs and sell them on the black market. However, I don't want to scare you too much. That's not happening in ayahuasca. However, if someone is using toei in their brew, this is why it's really important that you know what you're drinking. Toei as a spirit, I know some good things about toei, but I know more negative things about toei than I care to know, actually. So toei as a spirit can be, and this spirit actually showed up for me in my last Dieta, which was really fascinating. I was getting a teaching about how the spirit of toei works. And I was being shown that it is much like a narcissist, because I've interfaced with narcissists my whole life. So toei as a spirit can be very charming, very, like, put you under that magic spell where you are just like, oh, wow, really? And you can do anything to that person. It's not actually funny, because this happens a lot. So it's like this spirit that comes in and kind of like tantalizes you and will dangle shiny objects, perhaps things that you might want to achieve. So this is why it's also really important to do your shadow work and be really clear with where your boundaries are in terms of your integrity. So toei will mesmerize you. And now I've not actually ever ingested toei, or you can smoke toei sometimes in mapachos. So I only know from other people who have shared these things with me, who have dieted toei and have worked with toei. Toei will come in and kind of like mesmerize you where you are so like hypnotized and put under a spell. And it will also dangle these shiny objects for you of like, oh hey, you know, like, what about that? A lot of times they think it has to do with personal power. If you're feeling disempowered, it will tantalize you with giving you certain powers or spiritual gifts. But be careful, because there's always an energetic exchange. And then a lot of times you will not know, so it's a lot of times it's like the spirit of this plant is harvesting your energy. So I would be aware if someone has dieted Toei and you're about to drink with them. I would ask them why. And also I would definitely not drink a brew that has Toei in it, just because I'm all about sovereignty and energetic sovereignty and having agency in your choices of what you're drinking. And these are things that are really important to be aware of. Okay, number 2. I will just say, however, to Toei's, like all spirits, I'm sure, have positive and negative traits. I have met a woman who cured her breast cancer with Toei. So I think that with all plants, there are different ways, and it's usually depends on the way that the person is intending when the medicine is made for that brew. But that just also means that there is a lot of potentiality if you're drinking a brew with Toei in it, that things can go down that you might not have sovereignty or agency within that ceremony, or having like control over yourself. And I'll leave it at that. Number 2, how old are the vines? There is a massive, massive difference between drinking a brew that is, or the vines, the brew made with vines that are, say, 3 years old, as opposed to 30 years old. I had medicine made for me, and at a specific request to have a vine that is 30 years old. Look, I mean, this is like a tree trunk, nearly. You can see how old she is. The difference is that drinking a brew that is like this, with vines that are 30 years old, is like going to sit with the wise, ancient old elder that is so full of wisdom and knowledge, as opposed to drinking vines that are, say, anywhere from 3 to 5 years old. I really do not recommend drinking medicine that is 15 is really ideal. I would say between 10 is like the minimum, really, that I would drink. So it's important to know that you're drinking from the fountain of wisdom. I have drank 30-year-old vine medicine, and it is those ceremonies were some of the most profound ceremonies I've ever had. Like, it's so exquisitely beautiful and so wise, and I learned so much about the medicine and also myself. In my first Dieta, I won't name the center that I was dieting at, so please don't ask me. After the first ceremony, the medicine was so strange. I was like, I didn't feel grandma. And after that first ceremony, I was like, Excuse me. How old are the vines that we're drinking? Oh, they're like between 3 and 5 years old. Okay. And what is the color? The color got swept under the rug until I addressed it again later when we were actually making the medicine, and found out that we were drinking negra, which is why the medicine was so strange. But for me, it was like the spirit of grandma was not in there. The medicine, I was told, was between 3 to 5 years old, and then later, and I don't know why I did a second dieta there, but I did. I did because I didn't feel like my work with Noira was finished, and I didn't know any other center that was working with Noira until now. So I know later now, because I actually, like, I'm good at seeing the vines and telling generally how old they are. I was told that the vines were like, 5 years old, but really they were like 3. They were really tiny, like that. So for me, the whole dieta, which was a month-long dieta, I was crying because I was like, where's grandma? I don't feel grandma. And the facilitator was like, well, maybe that's happening on purpose. Try to dig deep. Maybe it's showing something that you need to address. And I was like, okay, I'll do my inner work. But really, it's because, I'm sorry, but you're doing a master plant dieta for like 12 people, and you don't have, if you don't have vines that are old enough, then go take the money from like however much you just received from everyone who is counting on you to provide really good medicine that they can work with. That's the whole point. That it's your responsibility then to go purchase old enough vines to work with. Like, for me, that was just not okay. So, it's between having a conversation. It's like having a conversation with, for me, it was like having a conversation with a 2-year-old that could not hold a conversation. It was like something over here and over here and over here. And then as opposed to drinking vines that were 30 years old, was like, you're in that stream of consciousness with grandma, and you're just like riding the infinite wave of oneness. Yeah. So that is why it's really important to know how old your medicine is that you're drinking. Number 3, who makes the medicine? It's also really important. I know that a lot of people do not make their own medicine that they are serving. However, if you're going on a master plant dieta, it's really important that you know whose hands have touched the medicines, if they are clean and pure enough to be handling that medicine. And if the facilitator that you're sitting with, if they've not made the medicine, you can ask them who makes the medicine for them, and do they know that person? Do they know, has that person done diets? What is their process when they're making the medicine? Are they cleaning and purifying themselves beforehand? It's incredibly important. I will also tell you that I found out later in my dietas, so I did 2 dietas at the center. I found out later that the maestro wasn't even making the medicine. That oftentimes, like, it was the previous dieta where everyone who was in the dieta was making the medicine, and what was left over was then served, and or some of the men who were just like workers who've never done any dietas, and some of them sat in ceremony with us and were purging from both ends the whole time, stuck in the toilet, because they weren't purified, that they were the ones that were making the medicine. So the energy of the person, the intention, the prayers goes into the medicine, and it's incredibly important that you know whose hands have touched that medicine. That's why at Tribe of Spirit, why I do what I do, is that I know each person who makes the medicine that we provide, whether it's hape or master plant tinctures, and they are all friends, direct sources from as friends of mine, because I feel implicitly about this. Number 4, how many, so the person that you are going to be dieting with, whether, I'm also saying that, like, even if you're going to sit in a master plant dieta and you're going to be sitting with a maestro, you know, my dietas were with a maestro, and I learned some really hardcore, challenging lessons that really, really messed me up last year. And this is why I'm sharing this information, so that hopefully this doesn't happen to you, because you can be more informed. So how many diets has the person done that you're sitting with? And what plants? If you're working with a maestro, they've probably dieted years and years. However, there are way too many people serving medicine in other countries that have not done their proper work, or dietas at all. I know plenty of people who just decided to pick up ayahuasca because they could buy it and start serving, and then figure it out as they went along. I also know plenty of people who have done one diet and think that they are a maestro now, or a maestra, and are serving ayahuasca. I'll get into that a little bit in a moment. So it's how many diets you've done, and the length of diets will also tell you how deep that person is connected, how many master plant allies that person has. When you're working with them, they are the bridge for those other master plants to come in and work their magic and do their healing for you. It's a co-creative process, yes. But the person who is facilitating and serving you ayahuasca is that bridge. And it's incredibly important that everyone continue to do their own personal work. And that means including, like, continually doing master plant dietas. Because that will also be the difference of sitting with someone in an ayahuasca ceremony and it being like, yeah, that was good, or having it be really deep and really profound. You know, I feel that we're so blessed to be able to drink ayahuasca. And she is, because there are so many people serving her who've not done their proper work or training or dietas, that she is becoming threatened and endangered. So please ask your facilitator how many diets they've done, how many diets they have done, and what plants those are. That will tell you what kind of energy this person is holding, and how deep they have personally done their own inner work and are committed to their service to you. Or is it just all about going and getting one master plant dieta so you can say, oh yeah, I've done a master plant dieta and now I can serve? No. It's also important to know, number 5, how many years has the person been serving? How many years has the person been in training? I don't consider someone picking up medicine, ayahuasca, and serving it as training. That's not how it works. It's that they have maestros and maestros that they have dieted with as a lineage to learn from. I know a lot of people say out there that, like, yeah, I learned from grandma, directly from grandma. Well, everybody does, but you need elders who are passing down the wisdom and this ancient technology to learn from. If you want to be in right alignment with, sorry, I don't want to say right or wrong, but if you want to be in alignment and in integrity, which that brings us to number 6. Who are their teachers, and were they given permission to serve? I'm telling you, there are so many people out there lying and picking up medicine and just serving it, or doing a dieta and serving and then serving and calling themselves maestros, and then also lying and saying, oh yeah, I have the permission from this person or this maestro or this tribe. Just beware that, like, if someone starts drinking medicine and doing dietas, and in a year or even 2 years they're now serving medicine, that's a red flag. I would not sit with them. So for me, this is like incredibly dangerous. It's a big red flag. It sends red flags, and like, for me, it tells me that this person is not in alignment, not in integrity. They've made choices, whether it's based on ego. I don't know if you want to say fame, because ayahuasca can come with some glamour around her. Money, fame, recognition. It's their own insecurity, and money. Money is always attached to it. So please, I share all of this with you through my really hard, difficult lessons. Last year I was in a dieta that nearly, it did blow me to pieces. And it was because of the negligence of the center. And some of these key points that I'm discussing, which is why I'm sharing it with you now. I really don't wish that upon anyone, and unfortunately there were several other people at the place that I dieted where this had also happened to several other people. And I had a conversation with them, and they just swept it under the rug. So yeah, I did what I could to try and prevent any further harm from other people getting hurt, but everyone has their own karma and their own choices and their own agency. So please write these questions down. I will actually put them down in the description, so that you can even write these down, put them in your notes, save them in your notes. The next time you are going to be sitting with ayahuasca, or for the first time, or going to do a master plant dieta, it's incredibly important that you ask all of these questions. I'm also always here for you if you have questions, whether it be about a center or facilitators. I know a lot of people in the industry, and it's not too, I think it's important to really know who you're sitting with, and that they are safe and have done the proper work. So I hope that this didn't scare you off of, drinking ayahuasca. She has, gosh, I've been working with ayahuasca for probably 16 years, drinking her, sitting with her. She's a fountain of wisdom and knowledge, and I know that some of the core programs and things that I've had and have been free of, I owe her, so much infinite gratitude. She has helped me to change my life, and I highly recommend sitting with ayahuasca. She's the queen. She is like the queen of all the plants. She is the spirit of Mother Earth, and it's really important for us all to do our own inner work. So if you are interested in sitting with someone or doing a master plant dieta with people who have done years of diets, who are proper maestros, a center that is trauma informed and safe, I'm holding a master plant dieta. I'm taking a group March 25th through the 30th, 2025. To Iquitos in the jungle with my new maestros that are 3. It's a beautiful family. Papa Juan, who has been working with the medicine for 27 years. He has dieted several different plants. There is Maestra Elisa. Her Icaros are so incredibly powerful and beautiful, and she just gets in there and really clears everything out with her ikoros with so much love. And then there is Maestro Rolando, who is, yeah, they're all different and unique unto themselves, and find them just such an incredible, powerful team and family filled with so much love and really, really deep care. I will put the link in the description below. So the Master Plant Dieta is 11 days, 5 days ayahuasca. So five drinking, it's like every other day. We'll be sitting in ceremony with ayahuasca. You'll be drinking your master plant every day. And for those of you who would like to diet Noirao, that was a really big prayer for me that came through after I recovered myself from the last year's dieta of like just getting blasted to pieces. I offered up a really strong prayer to find a new center and new maestros that were in alignment, that really care about people's healing, not just, to take people's money and then off you go. And a center that was offering Noirao, because she is my master plant teacher. I've dieted her 3 times now, and I'll be continuing. I don't know, she's incredible, and I'll know when we're finished and the next plant comes. And they also have a Noirao tree on the land, which I can say firsthand is really, really important if you're interested in dieting Noirao. That it makes a massive difference if you are dieting with her and you have an opportunity to go and visit her and offer prayers and songs and offerings every day, and just give your love and your gratitude in person to her. It makes a massive difference. My diets with Noirao have really helped me transform a lot of inner landscape, like some really deep layers for me around abuse. I was abused as a child, and I had started doing my own inner work around that when I was like, well, I almost died of drug addiction when I was in my early 20s. And I would say that's probably when my awakening happened. I nearly lost my life, and I got help. I went to NA, Narcotics Anonymous, and AA. And then I just made a decision, I was like, that's it. I'm changing my life. And I left my partner, where we were both abusing together, and we're still friends, and he's clean and sober, and I really started the path of healing. So, and that's when I started doing therapy around all of the abuse that had happened to me. And, so I'd been doing a lot of like therapy and internal work, and like years and years of working with various different medicines, ayahuasca, combo, mushrooms, wachuma. And in my dietas with Noya, I will say that she really helps to, I'll give you some of her star qualities. She really helped me to dig into the tiny webbing and the crevices of that abuse with the people that are involved, and like the mechanisms that I put in place to keep myself safe, like my whole life. And those were some of the things for me that were like really profound, that I didn't even recognize, because they were such a part of me, of who I was, of this protection mechanism, kind of like, only allowing certain people in, and kind of always checking over my shoulder to make sure I was safe. She really gave me the opportunity to go into those inner cobwebs that were still left, and really dig into a deeper layer and a level of that. She's really helped me to see the like the programs and the defense, the protection mechanisms that I've put in place as a result of, you know, being abused, and then also, yeah, and then choosing narcissistic partners like my whole life. So interfacing with just, you know, toxic relationships with men. And she's also helped me to really deeply see that, the reasons why I've attracted it. And again, these are also things that I've been working on for many years. And it's like, you don't know what you don't know until you're on the other side of it, right? So looking back now, I can see like, wow, I never even knew that I had that program in place that actually was like, that was keeping me safe, but it was actually keeping other people away. And those things have just like naturally fallen, and I've opened and blossomed into a new way of being. So I would definitely say that she helps with any kind of like trauma in your life. And in my first Dieta, I received 7 songs. I've never received any songs my whole life. I mean, maybe a few times I would get downloads and receive poems and like write. But 7 songs in one Dieta is a lot to receive. I mean, it was such a profound blessing, and that was something that I'd been praying for in my Dietas, that I really wanted to receive my own songs and Icaros with Noia. So, you know, since I've dieted her 3 times now, I have more songs, and one of my really biggest prayers is to be able to record those songs, really just to share them for others to really be able to enjoy them. That was my prayer, that I wanted to be the bridge for Noia's transmissions to come through. However, unfortunately, it's incredibly expensive to produce an album, and I just don't have the funds to get the full albums now, because it's like too recorded or produced. So if there are any producers out there that would love to collaborate with me, I would be so grateful, and Noia and I to manifest our prayers would be so incredibly grateful. But for now, yeah, I share those songs in ceremony when people sit with me. So I would definitely say, if that's something for you that you would like to open up your voice and to receive, I would say even more than Bobansana, because Bobansana is known for people to receive their own songs in Icaros, but I would actually say Noia. And she's also helped me to open and really develop my voice. I've recognized over the last few years since I've been dieting her that there is just a deeper strength in my voice. Before, I was maybe pushing my voice, and now I've like really settled in to my voice. Other star qualities about Noia. So, oh gosh, I wanted to do like a whole separate video about Noia, so maybe I'll just share a few other quick points. She helps to put you on your life path and purpose. She really helps to clear the doorway, like the pathway, for you to be on your soul's mission, your highest calling. I was already in my highest calling, so I didn't necessarily see a shift with that. However, I did and have seen, like, because of the work that I've done and being a bridge in ceremony with me, that like my clients have really profound transformations in any medicine that they're sitting with me in. So Noia is known as she's the tree of light and the tree of transformation. And for me, that's always been my intention in helping people when they come to sit with me in ceremony, is that we get in there, we do the deep work, and it's done. You know, like that you're not having to come back to me over and over and over again, that you have very rapidly transformed and are ascending on your spiritual journey and your path. So I have actually really significantly seen that that come in, and that's a huge blessing. So those are just some of the star qualities of Noirao. She is, yeah, she's so beautiful. And in ceremony, she's so funny. She shows up as this massive light. So when you're dieting her, and you're in the ayahuasca ceremony, it'll be like a football stadium light. It'll be like, wow, I need my sunglasses. Who turned the light on? I've had to check myself several times, like really annoyed in ceremony. It would be like, who turned the light on? You know, like who's got their flashlight? And I'll look over and it's like nobody. I'm like, oh, right, it's Noya. And she's also quite an aurora. And I don't know if that's because I'm an aurora and she works with your own consciousness, but she's always like dazzling aurora light show. So yeah, it would bring me the absolute most great joy to have you with us in our master plan Dieta, March 20th through the 30th, coming up soon. If you are interested in that, and if you have any questions, I'll put my email down below and I'll put all the links in the description. And I will actually do a full video about Noira because she deserves her own spotlight. And I'll also be doing videos more about a master plan Dieta. What is a master plan Dieta? So stay tuned, and thank you so much.